Hey, what's up? I'm Dominique and welcome to my ultimate beginner makeup guide. Here, you're going to find out exactly how to slay your makeup no matter what skill level you are. If you simply don't know where to start when it comes to makeup, don't worry because I got you. I'm here to be your makeup bestie and I'm going to explain everything to you. From primers to base makeup, how to apply everything, what tools to use, and everything in between. We're really gonna take a makeup deep dive today. And the best part is that every product that I use in today's video is $20 and under. So if you want to learn how to slay your base makeup or you're looking for some good affordable products, you've come to the right place because I'm going to be sharing with you all my makeup secrets. I'm talking this is a real step-by-step makeup guide that's going to have you looking like a makeup expert by the end. Alright, so without any further ado, let's jump right in and let's get started. So the very first thing that we should be doing when it comes to our makeup is hydrating our skin. So it's really important to start off your makeup looks by using a moisturizer. Today I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Daily Moisturizer. This is a really nice moisturizer to use underneath foundation. I really wouldn't use this as my everyday moisturizer because as this moisturizer actually starts to dry down, it becomes a little bit tacky. So that means this moisturizer is really going to stick to the foundation and it's going to help make it last all day long. I mean, if your skin looks and feels super hydrated and really smooth and plump, that's exactly how your foundation is going to look. I mean, if your skin looks super dry and crusty, you can bet that your foundation is going to look exactly like that. Beautiful foundation always starts off with a really nice skin base first. So when we do our makeup, it's very, very, very important to start off with the moisturizer. And the key here with moisturizer is don't go overboard with how much you put on your skin. Let it completely soak into your skin before applying anything else on top. But please, just do me a favor, do yourself a favor and use a moisturizer before you put on your foundation. If you don't listen to anything else I say in this video, please just listen to this. It's very important. Now, after we applied some moisturizer to our skin, the next step in our routine is definitely some primer. And for me, I think there's two main types of foundation primers. You've got the pore smoothing primers or you've got the hydrating gripping primers. And if you're like, Dominique, what the heck, which primer do I use? Well, let me explain. Pore smoothing primers are wonderful if you've got large pores, you've got texture on your skin, you really want to even out your skin tone, you want to make it a little bit more smooth, and any skin type is going to love a pore smoothing primer. And this is the NYX Marshmellow primer. This is definitely one of my favorite primers in the entire world. I love it so much. It smooths out my skin to perfection. Next, we have gripping primers. And gripping primers typically have more of a gel-based consistency, and as it starts to dry down to the skin, it gets a little tacky, and it really helps to grip to the foundation and it makes it last all day long. Seriously, if you want your foundation to be stuck to your skin, not moving at all throughout the day, this is a primer for you. And again, any skin type is going to love a gripping primer. And this is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This is the one with niacinamide in it. Today, I'm just doing my makeup for fun. I'm going to be using the NYX Marshmellow Primer. This is seriously one of my all-time favorite primers. I use it all the time. And if you watch my videos, you already know that I use this literally all the time. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of this to the areas where I have the most pores. So that would be my cheeks, my nose, and then whatever I have left over on my fingertips, I'm going to bring up to my forehead. As soon as I apply this to my face, I can just feel my skin becoming super smooth and soft. And I feel like this primer just does such a wonderful job of setting my skin up for success. And now my pores are basically non-existent. I mean, pores where? And also with the primer, you want to let it soak into your skin for about 30 seconds before you apply anything else on top. When it comes to picking your foundation, I know it can be a little confusing because there are so many different types of foundations out there, but let me break it down for you. You've got a glowy finish or you've got a matte finish. So if you've got more dry skin, definitely go with a glowy foundation. But if you've got more oily skin, definitely go with a matte foundation. If you're somewhere in the middle, you've got normal to combination skin, you can choose whichever foundation finish you personally want. So for me, since I'm a dry skin queen, I love a beautiful glowy hydrating foundation. And my recommendation for a super affordable, beautiful glowy foundation definitely has to be the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Skin Tint with Vitamin C. This gives your skin such a beautiful medium coverage with a stunning glow. I love this, and it's perfect for every single day. Now, if you've got more oily skin, I highly recommend the e.l.f. Cosmetics Soft Glam Satin Foundation. This gives a nice medium coverage with a beautiful satin matte finish. And satin matte just means that it's not super matte, dry, and crusty. And last but not least, for the people out there who don't want medium coverage, they want something a little bit more on the light coverage side of things, don't worry, I got you too. I would highly recommend the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. This is a super light coverage foundation. I mean, it's just really gonna even out your skin tone. It's not gonna really give you coverage. It's just really gonna even everything out. And since this is super lightweight on the skin as well, any skin type can wear it, whether you're oily, dry, or combination. I love this stuff so much and I wear it all the time, especially for the days that I just want a quick beat. It comes with a little applicator so you can just draw draw it right on your skin, and I really love that about this. So if you're a girly on the go and you want something quick, this is the one for you. So since I'm a super dry skin queen and I love to glow, I have to use the Maybelline Superstay 24 Hour Skin Tint. Now when you apply your foundation to your skin, the easiest way to do it to have it look the most natural is by pumping some out on the back of your hand first. You want to get a little pile of foundation going. So after I pumped some out on the back of my hand, I just take my little brush and I'll pick some up right out of that pile. And then I will start stamping it to my face. When you apply your foundation to your face, you want to stamp it on. You know, you really don't want to rub it onto your face. You just want to do some stamping motions. And for me personally, I like to start by applying the foundation to my jawline and then I work it up towards my cheeks. And you really want to focus on using the tiniest amount of foundation needed to cover your entire face. So I like to go in with one dip off the back of my hand, and I like to see how much of my face I can cover with just one dip, because when you accidentally apply too much foundation to your skin, that's what causes it to look cakey. And also when you're doing your foundation, it's very important to bring it down your neck. You always want to bring the foundation that you're using down your neck, even if you think it's your most perfect shade match. This is really just going to help blend your face into your neck, and it's going to look very cohesive, especially if you plan to take pictures. You're not going to have that crazy discoloration between your neck and your face. And this is especially helpful if you have a foundation shade that's a little too light or too dark for your skin tone. You can really fix that by just bringing it all down your neck. So the next thing that I like to do after I apply my foundation to my face is I like to take my beauty sponge and I help to press the foundation into my skin. Now I know this might seem a little bit extra since we just applied the foundation to our skin using a brush, but this step right here is seriously going to smooth everything out. It's going to get rid of any brush marks that might have happened while applying the foundation to your face. It's going to pick up any extra foundation that would just sit on top and crust up and cake up throughout the day, and it's really going to give your face such a beautiful skin-like effect. So now my foundation is going to look even more thin and lightweight than it did before, and I can't tell you enough how amazing this hack is for making your skin look beautiful. I do this step seriously every single time I do my foundation. I don't care if I'm in a rush or if I have 4 hours to do my foundation, I will be doing this step. This step right here is seriously magic. Now for concealer, I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorites that I think is perfect for any single skin type. This is the NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum, and in this I have the shade Vanilla. The weird thing about this concealer is that it has a pump to it. So I just like to pump about 1 to 2 pumps out on the back of my hand. You know me and pumping out my foundation or concealer on the back of my hand. And then I like to take a concealer brush. Honestly, any concealer brush that you have is going to be fine for this, but this one specifically is the Haus Labs concealer brush. So I just like to pick up a little of the concealer off the back of my hand, and then I start applying it directly underneath my eyes first. And when I'm first applying the concealer to my face, I like to place it a little bit below my lower lash line, and I really like to get the coverage going underneath my eyes, but not so close to my lower lash line where the creases are. I'm gonna keep that area a little bit blank for now, and then I like to blend it down into my cheekbones. And then once all of this is looking nice and blended, and there's really nothing left over on my concealer brush, that's when I like to blend it up towards my lower lash line. Since our eyes all have creases right underneath the lower lash line, I like to place the tiniest amount of concealer right there so there's a lot less product there to crease up throughout the day. I mean, creases are normal when it comes to our eyes. Every single concealer that you place underneath your eyes is going to crease, but there are methods to help it not crease as much. And then I also like to use this concealer as an eyeshadow primer as well, so I'm just going to place it directly on top of my eyelid, and I'm going to bring it all the way up to my eyebrow. This is just going to open everything up and make it look a lot more cohesive and even. And you can already see the difference. It looks so good, and I highly recommend finding a concealer shade that's about 1 to 2 shades lighter than your foundation shade, because that's what's really going to give you that nice brightening effect. I personally love this concealer so much because it has more of a medium coverage to it. It covers up all my dark circles. I look very awake and vibrant when I use this, which I love so much, and it also blends out like a dream. It's so incredibly creamy and hydrating, and this concealer really doesn't crease at all. I mean, NYX really snapped when they created this. I am seriously obsessed with this product. And then with the concealer, I also like to highlight the center of my face. So I apply a little bit to my chin, a little bit to the tip of my nose, and a little bit in between my eyebrows. And that really helps to give my face a spotlight effect, and it just helps to brighten everything up. And then once again, I'm going to take my little beauty sponge, and I'm going to help press the concealer into my skin. You can also use a little pointy side for this because it helps get into your inner corner of your eyes so much better. This step really just makes such a big difference. It makes everything look so much more smooth and flawless. There is a duck outside quacking up a storm. I wonder what it's trying to say. It seriously will not stop quacking. Quack, 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 quack. That's exactly what it sounds like. Okay, so now after we did our foundation and concealer, it's time to bronze up our skin. And since our foundation and concealer is still wet because we have not set it with powder yet, oh my gosh, that rhymed, I'm going to be going in with a cream bronzer stick. You want to apply all of your cream products on top of each other before going in with powder. You never want to apply cream products on top of powder. I mean, you can, but there's some products out there that do not work well on top of powder. So it's just safer to do all of your creams together and then all of your powders together. So today I'm going to be using the EYESHADOW Beauty No Limits Contour and Bronzer Stick in the shade Harmony. I think this bronzer stick is one of the most expensive products that I'm going to be using in this video. It retails for $20, but oh my goodness, it's the best bronzer stick in the entire world. I'm serious, I have not found a better bronzer stick than this. So with my bronzer stick, I like to apply it in the hollows of my cheeks first. And you can really find the hollows of your cheeks by making this fishy face, and that area where your cheeks are sunken in, that's exactly where you're going to place your bronzer. Or you can just tap around on your face and you can feel your cheekbones, and then you want to place your bronzer directly underneath them. So with my bronzer stick, I'm just making a few little dots in the hollows of my cheekbones. It's also very important when you're adding cream products to your skin that you don't go overboard with how much you apply, because it's way easier to go back in and add more product if you need it than it is to take away too much product that you accidentally applied. I'm also going to apply the bronzer on the perimeter of my forehead. This is just going to really warm up and add some dimension to my forehead. You can see it's kind of large, so we gotta, narrow that down a little bit. And then I also like to go on the sides of my nose for a little bit of a contour moment. And last but not least, I like to apply a little bit at the bottom of my jawline to help, snatch that jaw. Now I like to take a little cream bronzer brush, and basically this is just a smaller version of a foundation brush. And I'm going to start by stamping out the product onto my cheek. It's very important once again to do stamping motions. You don't want to do sweeping motions, you don't want to drag the product around, because that could disrupt the foundation and concealer underneath. You want to be very gentle, and you just want to tap, tap, tap everything out. And do you see how beautifully this is blending out on my skin? It's actually insane. This product is so insanely creamy, it's so beautiful. It gives my skin more of a hydrated, glowy look. So as a dry skin queen, I love that. And I'm also going to make sure to bring this cream bronzer up towards my temples to help lift my face. You never want to bring any of the cream products that you apply to your cheeks down. You always want to lift up, up, up towards your temples. And then I do the same exact thing with my forehead. I just tap it right out. And I actually like to bring it up towards my hairline. And honestly, I like to blend it into my scalp so that it looks way more cohesive and you can't see like that white line from my scalp, And then I bring the bronze down to my eyebrow as well. And I really mainly just focus on leaving the center of my forehead blank. And then on the sides of my nose, I just run the brush up and down until everything is blended out. You can even bring it all the way up to your eyebrow as well to help give a more contoured look. And I don't really like to go crazy with the nose contour, so this is about as much nose contouring as I get. And of course, you cannot forget the jawline. I like to mainly focus on the jawline like underneath my chin so that all the shadow is down here. You don't want to bring any of the shadow up onto your face. You want to keep it all below the jawline. And now you're going to look a lot more snatched because you have an extra shadow underneath your jaw. And then of course, I'm going to take my little beauty sponge and I'm going to help press the cream bronzer into my skin. This is really going to give the bronzer one last final blend. And of course, it's just going to smooth everything out and make it look a lot more skin-like. If you accidentally applied too much bronzer, this is going to help pick it up and make it look not as intense. And it's really just going to bring the look together. Now, after I do my cream bronzer, cream blush is always up next. And today I'm going to be using my favorite cream blush of all time. This is the e.l.f. Cosmetics Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Suave Mauve. Now, this is a super pigmented liquid blush. I'm telling you, you only need a little baby dot of this and it's going to cover your entire cheek. So for liquid blush, I always like to apply it above my cream bronzer. So if we apply the cream bronzer in the hollows of my cheekbones, I like to apply the liquid blush directly on top. So the easiest way to find your best placement is to smile, and then whatever part of your cheek puffs up, that's about the area that you want to blush up. So I'm going to apply a baby dot, and I'm going to kind of move it back towards my temples a little bit because I don't want to bring the blush too close to my nose. So I'm going to take another little cream blush brush, and this is basically the exact same type of brush that we applied the cream bronzer with as well. And I'm going to start stamping it out onto my cheeks using some tapping motions. And I do not want to blend this down into the cream bronzer at all. I want to focus on bringing this pigment up as much as possible. So both the cream bronzer and the cream blush should be going up towards my temples. I don't want to blend anything down ever. And again, it's very important to only go in with the smallest amount of blush needed to cover your entire face, because if you have to go in and add more blush, that's so much easier to do than take away too much blush pigment that you already added. So take your time, go slow, and build it up to be as pigmented as you like. And once everything is pretty much all blended and there's really nothing left over on your brush, you can go ahead and start blending out the front part of the blush. And when you do this, you really want to make sure that there's nothing really left over on your brush so that you can get a really soft, seamless blend. And when you're doing your makeup and if you ever get any harsh lines anywhere, you always want to blend them out going upwards, because upwards is really going to help lift that blend up and make it look a lot more seamless. You never want to go past that harsh line and bring it down. That's really not going to blend it out at all. You want to go up, up, up and keep blending it out. Okay, how cute is that? I seriously have so many different shades of this e.l.f. liquid blush. The formula is just so creamy. It blends out so easily. And I mean, the Suave Mauve shade is so underrated and super slept on, because look at that. Look at how beautiful this shade is. And then for one last time, I'm going to take my little beauty sponge and I'm going to press the cream blush into my skin. I mean, do you see how good this makes my skin look? It's so airbrushed, so seamless, and super smooth and blended. All thanks to this little sponge that I love seriously so much. So now that we applied all the cream products to our skin, it's time to set our face with some powder. And I got two different powders to recommend to you. I've got the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder, or I've got the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. The e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder is definitely for my dry skin queens out there. It's definitely more of a very thin, lightweight setting powder. And plus, it's going to give your skin a beautiful glow from within. Now, if you have oily or combo skin, I highly recommend the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder because it's a little bit more of a thicker oil absorbing powder. So if you've got dry skin, go with the e.l.f. If you've got oily skin, go with the Maybelline. Since you know me, I'm a dry skin queen. I love me some e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. So that's exactly what I'm going to be using today. Now, to apply the powder to your skin, you can either use a brush or you can use a powder puff. I like to use a brush that's a little bit more pointed, like a little triangle, so that it fits right underneath my eye. And of course, I like to use a triangle powder puff for the same exact reason. So today I'm going to be using this little brush and I'm just going to pick up a little powder right out of the jar, tap off the extra, and then I'm going to set directly underneath my eyes first. You know, even if you hate using setting powders, it's very important to set underneath your eyes, especially if you applied some concealer. You really want to make sure that that concealer does not crease throughout the day, and powder is really going to help that concealer last all day long. Now, once the eyes are all set, it's up to you where else you want to powder your face. If you have more oily skin, I definitely recommend setting your entire face with some setting powder, but very much specifically in the areas where you get oily. So typically your T-zone, and then a little bit on your cheeks as well. If you have more dry skin, you can just set underneath your eyes and be done with it, or you can also set in your T-zone, your nose, your chin, or even your entire face if that's what you'd like. You know, you don't have to be scared when it comes to setting powders. You just have to find one that you really love. And these two are great ones to try out. So I just went ahead and I did my eyeshadow and my eyebrows off camera, but if you would like to see an in-depth beginner-friendly tutorial on how to do all of these things, just let a girl know and I'll definitely make that video for you. Now, you could stop your base makeup right here and you don't have to go in with any powder bronzer or powder blush if you don't want to. But for me, I'm a little bit extra and I like to set my cream products into place with some powder products. So today I'm going to be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm going to take a really large fluffy bronzer brush and I'm going to lightly dust the powder bronzer directly on top of that cream bronzer. This is essentially going to set the cream bronzer into place with some powder bronzer, and I'm going to be placing it in the exact same areas that we already applied our cream bronzer. And it's very important to hold your brush at the very back of the brush so you can have a really soft, light hand with this, because if you hold your brush really close near the bristles, you're going to have a lot more pressure and that's going to create more harsh edges. But if you hold it back at the back of the brush, it's going to be really light and airy and you can move your wrists and you can blend really softly. And of course, you can't forget the forehead, the sides of the nose, or even the jawline. You don't have to go too crazy with the powder bronzer. You only really need a little bit to set it into place. And plus, you're bringing some life back into your skin after you powdered your face. This is really going to help make you look a lot more snatched. And if you feel like you accidentally added way too much powder bronzer, you can go in with a really fluffy blending brush and nothing on it, and you can just lightly blend it out. And then it will be like it never even happened. I love to call this brush my in case of emergency brush, because if I accidentally applied way too much bronzer or way too much blush or anything like that, you know, in case of emergency, I can go in with this brush and blend it all away. It's seriously a game changer. Now for powder blush, I'm going to be doing the exact same thing. And today I'm going to be using the Milani Cosmetics Baked Powder Blush in the shade Dulce Pink. So I'm going to take my little powder blush brush, I'm going to dip into the powder and I'm going to tap the extra off so that we don't have too much product. And then I'm going to start stamping it onto my cheeks directly where we place the liquid blush. And placing this powder blush on top of the liquid blush is really going to help set it into place. This is really going to help make your blush last all day long and it will not fade throughout the day when you double layer it up like this. And of course, I'm just stamping the blush onto my cheeks and I'm lifting it up towards my temples to help lift my face. You know, every single time I apply blush to my face, I want to bring it up towards my temples to help lift my face because it's going to give you more of a snatched look. It's going to bring everything up and basically give you a mini facelift. So we love to see that. I love this baked powder blush so much because it gives my skin a really nice subtle glow from within. I love it. It blends out so easily. It's not overly pigmented lid, and I can keep building it up to the exact pigment that I like. Now I'm going to take my In Case of Emergency brush one more time, and I'm just going to lightly blend out all that blush that I just applied. You know, I just want to make sure there's no harsh edges in sight. That is very important to me. Okay, seriously, this is a step in my routine where I'm just a little bit extra. I'm going to bake my face. So I'm going to take my little beauty sponge and I'm going to dip it directly into some loose powder, and I'm going to place the pointy side of the sponge directly towards the back of my jawline, right underneath that bronzer. I'm going to place it and I'm going to drag it all the way towards the inner corner of my mouth. And you see that straight line? So beautiful. I'm going to do it on the other side as well. And then I'm going to flip the sponge over with the fatter side, and I'm just going to blend the powder down into my jawline. So now I'm going to let this powder sit on my face for a few minutes. And it's really just going to help clean up and chisel out my blush and bronzer. It's going to make my cheeks look so much more clean, and I love doing this. I don't care if it's giving 2016. It is what it is. I love doing this step. Now is the time in my makeup routine where I add some glow to my face. So I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution highlighter in the shade Raise the Bar. And you can kind of see where the natural glow hits my cheeks. And that's kind of where I want to place that highlighter. You know, at the highest parts of my cheeks. Do you see how blinding this highlight is? I love it so much. I feel like the Tin Man. I feel like a glazed donut. And that's exactly how I want to feel every single time I apply some highlight. I also like to apply some to the tip of my nose and along the bridge of my nose as well. And you know, basically anywhere else I would like to glow. I love glowing skin, so I will be placing highlight everywhere. I mean, look how cute this is. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like highlighter just really brings everything together and really completes the look. Now, real quick, I'm just going to line my lips with the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade BFF2. These lip pencils are so beautiful. They're so creamy and very pigmented as well. I mean, honestly, it's like one swipe full pigment. They last all day long and they do not budge. I'm seriously obsessed with these lip liners. They're honestly the best affordable lip liners that I've ever tried. Now I'm going to take the e.l.f. Cosmetics O Face Satin Lipstick in the shade Dirty Talk, and I'm just going to apply it directly on top of this lip liner. I love this beautiful pinky nude shade. This lipstick formula is so good. It's so insanely creamy. It feels so beautiful on the lips, and it definitely does give a little bit of a satin finish. So yeah, I'm really here for this lip combo right now. Now I'm going to dust off this powder, because you know, it doesn't really have to be there that long. As long as you have it on for about a minute, you'll be fine. And finally, the last step in my makeup routine every single day is definitely some setting spray. And a setting spray that has a glowy finish, that is. So today I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Cosmetics Dewy Coconut Setting Mist. Now I love to use a setting spray after I do my makeup because I really feel like it helps to melt all the powder into my skin. And plus, this setting spray right here gives my skin a beautiful glowy finish. Now if you have oily skin, I would definitely recommend more of a matte version of this setting spray. But if you have dry to combo skin, the Dewy Coconut Setting Mist is everything. So I'm just going to apply this to my face all over. And I'm just covering my eyes so it doesn't mess up my eyeliner or my mascara. And the more that you saturate your face with this, the glowier your skin is going to look. I feel like to get the max benefits of a setting spray, you really have to drench your face with it. And then all you got to do is just let it air dry. And you can already see that my skin looks a lot more hydrated and definitely more glowy. And that's it. That's all I have for you today. That was my step-by-step ultimate makeup guide, all complete. Now, after watching this video, you can officially say that you are no longer a makeup beginner. You are now a makeup expert. And we love that for you, so congrats. As you can see, my makeup routine is a little bit extra, but that's exactly how I like it. So I really hope you learned something today, and I hope you feel a little bit more confident in your makeup skills after this. Because now I know that you can go out and slay this look. And I can't lie, makeup definitely is a skill that requires some practice. So if you really want to get good at makeup, start practicing. And before you go, make sure to leave a comment down below letting me know, have you tried out any of these products that I used in today's video? Because these are honestly some of my favorite products, and I would love to hear from you. And if you have any video requests or you want to see any types of videos from me, please leave them down in the comments because I will definitely do them for you and I will add them to my list. And of course, as always, I've linked all the products that I mentioned in today's video down in the description box for you just in case you want to go ahead and check any of them out. And I'll be back next week with a brand new video, so make sure to go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss when I upload my next video. And then that way we can really become besties. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me today. I seriously had so much fun sharing my step-by-step ultimate makeup guide with you. And I really hope that it helps you level up in your makeup skills because I got you. And if you've made it to this point in this video, thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful for you. Nothing fills my heart with joy more than creating these videos for you. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Oh, and P.S. don't forget to subscribe so that we can truly become besties. I love that for us.